All right, welcome back to The Blend. We are at Noble Coffee today, and we're going to be shooting some Portra 400 on the M6. Starting on this episode, we are filming on the Mamiya 7, so we're shooting some medium format film, and so we're going to be doing some Portra 800 on this guy as well. Look how cute both of them are. This is just way more expensive because with medium format, you only have 10 frames, so you got to make every one of them count. So whereas this one, you know, it's less than $1 per shot, but this, each shot is $2. So I promised myself that I was going to hold off on getting a medium format camera, but I saw a really good deal and I just really couldn't go away from it. You have this spool right here. So you're going to feed this end into this spool right here, loading it like so. And then you're gonna see an arrow come through like that. And that's where the film starts. So after that, close that guy up. Make sure you turn on the camera. Unlike the M6, this is electronic.
Noble Coffee's been around since 1996, and I'm the third owner of the business. There was Jim who started it in 1996, and then Mark and Robin who had it for like about the last 10 years, a little bit less than that, and then here. And it's just been such a staple in the community. We're right here on the square in Noblesville, right downtown. Courthouse across the street, mayor walking in and out, the hairstylist that's been there for 10 years walking in and out. I love hearing Noblesville lore, just all the stories of the history of Noblesville, because Noble Coffee was here before the square was really like a place that everybody wanted to be, and just hearing all the stories along the way of that building has been a lot of fun.
I love the popped color, and then also just like the old lights right here, the painting in the center frame right there. Noble Coffee and Tea Company right there, downtown Noblesville. And as Z had mentioned, you kind of get that Gilmore Girl type of energy, especially with this exterior, and we'll be sure to get this on medium format as well. But we're going to be exposing for the window, and I love the leading lines right here. Perfect. The Mamiya 7 is also a rangefinder, so it's pretty similar to the M6. $2 full right there. It's so quiet. Oh my gosh, really hope that turns on. Cool. If I could get the flowers in the foreground, coffee in the midground, and then Noble's coffee in the background, I think that's going to be the shot of the day. All right, taste test. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, so this looks quite idiotic, I'm sure, but I promise you the shot's gonna work really well. Got to wind it like an amateur. All right, so that's a wrap on the Blend episode with Noble Coffee. Just in general, such a unique space. I feel like there are so many different, characteristics of the coffee shop. You have the roastery, you have this room right here, you have the main area with the bar, and then you also have kind of like a reading nook spot. Everything has their own personality, and so hopefully, highlighting that on, mainly Portra 800 will do the trick. And then also, it's a lot darker in coffee shops than anywhere else, so I would love to play around with other film stocks, but you need something, high speed especially if you're not locked off on a tripod. So Portra 800 is kind of like my go-to, but I would love to play around with other film stocks that are, you know, also box speed of 800. All right, so welcome back to The Blend. We are discussing the shots that just came back from Noble Coffee. So this episode, I already had a roll of Portra 400 in the M6, so I wanted to reserve that for the exterior shots just because I knew that there was going to be more sunlight and it was going to be brighter. So obviously with a lower film speed, I wanted, you know, to save it for the exterior shots. This is what makes film. You know, you got the halation and the reflection coming off of this minivan, and you have the warm tones of the building, but then you also have like the red accent of the, I believe, restaurant right next to it, and the coloring is great. I absolutely love just like the blue skies and how they rendered in Portra 400. And then just like going to the other side of Noble Coffee, we have, you know, the signage, we have the old sign, you know, the Noble Coffee and Tea Company, and then just all the seats outside. I love the leading lines in this shot. I believe I took it on 35 and 120 because I love the composition so much. So when I'm looking at the comparison of the 35mm and the 120 film shots, the 120 almost looks digital. The grain, since it's a bigger sensor, since it's medium format, the grain is going to be a little bit more spread out just because we have more space. And probably one of my favorite shots is the vertical and horizontal frame of the bags of beans. I was still shooting on Portra 400 at this time, so I was shooting wide open at like 1/30th. That's the beauty of film. You don't know how it's going to turn out until you get it developed, and I'm really happy with how these shots look, and also just, yeah, I hit critical focus and it was really rewarding. One thing with the rangefinder that I am having a hard time with is, especially with the beans being roasted, trying to hit focus on the rangefinder patch is practically impossible because like the episode in Gold Leaf when I had the image of the ghost image versus the real image, you have to line those two up. And when you're looking at, you know, hundreds of thousands of coffee beans, you can't really line those up. So you almost have to just zone focus and hope for the best. So moving into the coffee shop side of the episode, what I really love is just the red accent of the espresso machine. Like I mentioned it in previous episodes, I love it when coffee shops have colorful machines, just because on film it gets highlighted really well, in my opinion, especially since I predominantly shoot on Portra, which is, you know, warm tones. So one of my favorite shots is behind the bar. We have the espresso machine creating a leading line into the barista making, I believe, frothing the milk right now. And I almost like how the depth of field is so shallow. The shot is focusing on the espresso machine, and then, you know, we see in the background her frothing the milk. So my favorite shot of the whole entire episode is probably this vertical one. So the composition itself is very pleasing, but what I really like is the warm tones in the top left of the image, contrasting with the bright natural light that's seeping in on the bottom half. Now, if I was shooting on digital, I would probably create a linear gradient to even out the temperatures. But because it's film, I really just want to lean into how the film stock develops the image. Whereas on digital, I would want everything to be uniform. I would click, you know, the white balance tool, and I would just make everything super warm or super cold. But with film, leaning into the imperfections, leaning into what it actually looks like in real life is something that I really want to start doing more with my art. So to wrap things up, huge shout out to Noble Coffee and their staff. Huge shout out to Mason for allowing us to interview him and tell more about the story and community aspect of Noble Coffee. Huge shout out to Ziad for filming the BTS process of this episode. And it was so great not only to be filming filming with the M6, but also to be trying out medium format only for the second time. This was the second roll that I pushed through the Mamiya 7, and I was so pleased and so happy with the results. It's a slippery slope, I know, but I can't wait to be sharing more about the journey with film photography. Next episode is going to be at Helm Coffee, and I cannot wait for that episode to be released and to share those images with you guys, because really just nailed down a good workflow with the medium format camera and also the 35mm, and I will see you guys there.